to get ready and just like talk a little bit. I'm a little nervous because I'm gonna tell you guys stuff about myself. I don't do that. But Tara Lynn sent some folks over from her channel, and listen, don't mess with Tara because I will fight somebody for Tara. I really will. And like, y'all, I remember her saying her name is Tara, not Tara Lynn, because we all just call her Tara Lynn. But no, for real, I've known Tara for like years at this point. I think I've been watching her since almost the beginning of her channel. She has honestly been there for me in like real life ways, and so I'm just like always appreciative of her. Another thing, and I think I've mentioned this before because I've talked about Tara before, I just love how open she is, and we've talked about a lot of things like diversity and inclusion, and she's just like, I love me some Tara. Don't mess with Tara. Like, her kids are my like niece and nephew. Like, I for real adore Tara. So I know that I have some new people from over on her channel. Like, thank you for coming. Yeah, hopefully you stay, and hopefully you're not like Tara, drop that girl. Anyways, so I'm gonna talk a bit, which is what I feel like I've started doing more in my videos, like a lot of get ready with me's, get ready with me's. But if you don't want to hear that stuff, I'm going to be focusing on the Pat McGrath Mother's. No, it did not, girl. It fell right out the thing. Hold on. Ooh, Pat, girl, Pat, you trying to play? This is a Skin Show Moon Glow shade that done fell right out the. That's why this palette is always on sale. Right now it's on sale for $75 or $77. Girl, you bet not. This is the Midnight Sun Midnight Sun palette. Shoot. Anyway, so I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm usually pretty careful as to what I say just because of my like profession or whatever. I'm a licensed psychologist, and gosh, I think I became a psychologist at like 29. So I went straight like kindergarten through PhD, no breaks. I don't recommend it, as I'm pretty sure I lost my sanity along the way, if I had any to begin with. But I'm from South Central LA, and I went to school in Hollywood. I went to the same school as Tyra Banks and Meghan Markle. I'm still trying to figure out what classes they took, because they have like money and are famous. And I'm over here battling DC traffic is all I'm saying. Something I'm known for just in general is my honesty. It's like a gift and a curse. Like, did you ever watch Monk? He always would say that his OCD was like a gift and a curse. It's like a gift and a curse. Like, I feel compelled to tell the truth. Maybe that's from going to Catholic school my whole life, even though I'm not Catholic. But I just, like, sometimes I try to just be like, because I don't know, I just feel compelled to tell the truth. Let's see, how are we going to start with this? I just used the NYX glitter primer because I want to use some of her like astral shades and the shimmers, and sometimes you can get like a lot of fallout with those. Let's see what I want to do. Okay, I think I'm going to start with this shade here. Like, now I'm just trying not to drop anything. And this is Blitz Violet Orchid. I'm just going to go in with my fingers because I have short nails, you guys. When has that ever happened? So I'm patting that in. Okay, so what have I told you about Shawnee? I am from South Central LA. I said that. I'm a licensed psychologist. My family is from the Caribbean. Trinidad and Guyana. But you know, growing up in the hood and then going to school in like Hollywood, I just like switched back and forth in terms of quote unquote accent. Just because I've been in so many different settings, like my university was in Orange County, and then I went to grad school in like the Midwest. Like I've just, I mean, what? I do have siblings. They're much older than me. But child, I feel like we catching up with each other, because my mom told me the other day that all of her kids are complaining about our bodies aching. I'm like, girl, we getting old. That's what's happening, girlfriend. Okay, next I'm going to go into this shade here, which is Jubilee, and I'm going to put that like right next to that Blitz shade, and we'll blend all of these together. So yeah, I always kind of knew I wanted to become a psychologist, ever since like high school. And you know, I went to a college prep high school, so they were like prepping us for college. And I was one of those people who did know what they wanted to major in high school. Now working with college students, I'm like, you don't need to know, like try out different stuff. But listen, I was on a path to get out of South Central essentially. And I would just always have these experiences taking the bus, the public bus, y'all, because our nuns got like kicked out of the archdiocese because they were too like progressive. So I had to take the public bus. People would sit down and just start talking to me. And I don't know, is it my face? Because I could have sworn I was giving off like, don't speak to me. But people would just start telling me their life stories, you know, and like, I was like, I think I want to do this for a living, but like just be a more active participant in these conversations. So now I'm going to go in with Blood Moon 005. Hopefully you can see that. I'm just trying not to have other shades fall out. I'll press that. I really should have like had a list of questions, because if not, I'm gonna babble. So hopefully you're okay with babbling. I find that with Pat's like shimmers and her astral shades, I think it's just easiest to use your finger, or you can always use like one of those felt tip applicators. But since I have short nails, which I like never do, and I only have because I did my new professional photos yesterday, I'm just gonna go ahead and take advantage of the short nails. So yeah, so like a good chunk of my life was focused on school and stuff like that. It wasn't until like my clinical internship and like starting my career that I actually started to have like fun in life. I was one of those, it's funny because I work with a lot of college kids right now, but I was one of those that all I did was study. All I did was like extracurriculars. I didn't drink. I didn't do anything, y'all. When I say I didn't do anything, I mean I did nothing. But let me tell you something. Internship hit. Child, I sowed my wild oats. Well, actually, I started sowing my wild oats the last year in grad school. That was a fun time. But that happened because I was supposed to get married, you guys. I've talked about this before. Thank the gods I didn't. I was supposed to marry a minister, so I was like real like minister's wife and chaste and all that stuff. Child, when that ended, hello, the real shiny came out to play. All right. let's go in with a bit of a matte. I'm gonna go in with the Vermilion Venom. Do I want to use this brush? So in terms of what you will see on my channel, what will you see? Let's see, what do? I do a lot of get ready with me's, apparently. I do a get ready with me at work, so when I go into my office, most of my time since the pandemic has been spent working from home, but as a psychologist, like, there's an aspect, at least from like my training, where I need that sort of interpersonal interaction. I think online or like virtual therapy can definitely be effective, but there are some folks that I think they benefit a bit more from being in person for various reasons that I won't really go into. But maybe knowing my specialty. Initially, I did a lot with body image and eating disorders, and then it sort of turned into working with trauma and specializing in sexual assault recovery. So I work with a lot of assault survivors, and sometimes just having a presence of someone who can like share that burden with you, who can like hold your pain with you. Sometimes it's just a bit more powerful in person. So that's like my specialty. I love it. Obviously you can probably intuit that working with trauma can be exhausting. So something I am not good at is like taking breaks and stuff. So feel free to remind me. Thank you to, let me tell you who has like been amazing. Kate, Tracy, Mary, Dion, and my girl Jessa. Those are, well, Kate, I already knew Kate. And Jessa, I knew Jessa. But starting my YouTube channel, I really got to know Dion, Mary, and Tracy, and I think like we've become like for real friends. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if you're sitting there like, girl, we ain't friends. So I just have to do a lot better with taking care of myself because my health has suffered from like overworking and just doing too much. All right, so there is that. Very like LA Lakers meets fall. Now, let me do this other eye and I will be right back to do the rest of the face. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go in with the Dior Backstage Foundation Primer. Now, this is almost done. Is there any left in here? So this is what it looks like, and I'm just going to take my finger and apply. So I do get ready with me's. I also do swatches of various eyeshadow palettes. Like I just did one on did a video on the new Natasha Denona My Dream palette. And I like to do those because just for folks who want to see those swatches and things like that on a deeper skin tone. For reference, like I wear Fenty 450, NARS New Caledonia, the Danessa Myricks Balm powder. I wear the shade 9, 33 in Lisa Eldridge. Dior, I go between 6N and 7N. Not that anybody uses Cover FX anymore, but I still love it. I use N110. So I'm a little further down on, you know, the deeper skin tone, but still there are many people much deeper than me. But if you're kind of in that area, then I try to do swatches and stuff to see how things look on me. And I tend to have oily skin, so I generally shy away from super hydrated makeup just because I'll be hydrated and shiny and oily by the time I walk out to the car. All right, so we've got the primer on. Let it sit in for a little bit. And I guess I'll stick with the Dior and go in with the Backstage foundation. Now, I do like the Backstage foundation. I did not like the Backstage concealer. Like that, it looked terrible on me. I don't know. I was just like, no. I also have the most adorable cat in the world. Her name is Rose. Her birth name was Connie. She not a Connie. So I named her Rose, and she and I are like a match made in heaven, because if there were ever a being that like is my twin in terms of personality, it's Rose. We're both dramatic. We're both sweet and sassy, literally how she was described and literally how my exes have described me. Both sweet and sassy, motivated by food, who isn't, and likes to be like the center of attention. So we are made for each other. She's actually the first cat I've ever had. And I got her at the beginning of, I adopted her at the beginning of the pandemic. And so we've been together for a really long time, and she's very attached. Sometimes too attached. Like, I need some space, sweetheart. But yeah, I love her. I love her. I love her. I love her. So maybe I should tell you like some cool stuff about me. I mean, first of all, I'm just cool. I think I'm a good friend. For the most part. There are times where I just like don't want to be like, I don't want to people. Like I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to see anyone. Probably there are maybe two people who can get me out of that sort of mood, and it's my niece and my partner. Other than that, I'm like, leave me alone, please. Thanks. I'm actually fairly introverted, but I play a good extrovert. Like, it just turns on. But I prefer to be quiet in my house, bra off, bonnet on, watching Gilmore Girls or Pretty Little Liars. Like, no joke. I mentioned that my family is from the Caribbean, so my culture is very important to me. And along with working with assault survivors, I do a lot of work related to identity. So I get a lot of clients from marginalized groups, whether that be racial or ethnic minorities, folks from the LGBTQIA plus community, religious minorities, just all kinds of stuff. Like, you know, if you've experienced any sort of marginalization or discrimination based on identity, then I'm a good therapist for you. My clients describe me as non-judgmental, which is like, to me, the highest praise, and I really appreciate it because I do try to be non-judgmental, because I'm like, girl, if we switch chairs, girl, you would be judging me. Let me tell you, I am not perfect, even if I like to pretend to be. So I'm taking a sponge that, it was damp yesterday, so I just kind of refreshed it with some setting spray. And I am blending out this concealer. What was I talking about? Oh, Caribbean, yes. So along with that, something that I think not everyone knows is that I play the steel drums or the steel pan. I've been playing since I was Rose. Ma'am. Okay, like, I'm gonna show you to the people then. Come on. Say hi. Mm-hmm. She doesn't like being picked up. I've been playing for 30 years. Wow. I've played at a lot of big venues. It's probably playing the pan is probably the happiest you'll ever see me. I get lost in the music. It's kind of similar to makeup for me. Like, makeup, I can just sit and play around with makeup and just sort of get lost, lose time and everything. So, yeah, that's like something that's really deep in my soul and very dear to me and close to my heart. I've played in bands and mostly with my dad. I'm gonna go in with my Pat McGrath Under Eye Setting Powder, and I'm just taking this Beauty Blender Puff. I'm gonna use that to set under my eyes a bit and anywhere else that I put the concealer. Go. And I am going to go in with some contour. This is from Danessa Myricks, and it is her Balm Contour. This is in the shade Deep 1. You can see I've got pan in there. Are you all getting her new Lightwork volume, whatever it is? 4. Let's see, Roman numeral 4. Initially when I saw it, I was like, nah, I'm okay, I don't need it. I have the first one, the large one. I'm sorry, I have the most recent one, the larger version, Lightwork Volume 3. But then, like, I saw it this week, and I was like, oh my god, I want that. So I don't know what changed. But I think I'll go with my first inclination, which was like, no, I don't really want it or need it. But I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, you can convince me to get it. Like, it wouldn't be hard for you to convince me. So let me know if you all are getting it, what you think about it. I like that with her products, you just need like a little bit. Like, I would suggest using any of her products, go in lightly and build from there. Because if you go in strong, you're going to look a mess. Believe me, I have done it. Now, I think since we're like nearing fall and all the like warm colors, I think I'm gonna go in with this cream blush from Colored Rain, and it's in the shade Spicy. So you can see that it's pretty. Now I went in with a little bit of the cream blush in Spicy from Colored Rain, and now I'm going to go in with some blush from the Melt Mariposa blush palette. Probably just going to mix these sort of orangey shades here. I'm going to take this Ulta eye liner, gel eyeliner in the shade Wind Down. Now I'm going to use this same pencil and I'm going to smudge things out a bit, giving myself a bit of like a liner, a winged liner shape. When I have any sort of like orangey thing going on, I often like to use my Lisa Eldridge lipstick in Velvet Morning. So I'm going to put that on. So along with that, since we've got that wind down color on the eyes, I'm going to use this LA Girl pencil in Vamp. It's sort of a burgundy-ish, kind of. Dude, like, does it mean something if your nostril keeps itching? Let me know. Child, because if it means Biden about to cancel all the student loan debt, I will itch this nose as long as I have to. I'm going to top it with Kiss of Fire, which is a liquid lipstick from Dose of Colors. So we'll let that dry down a bit. And I'm going to finish everything off with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless setting powder, finishing powder. And the mascara that I'm currently using up is the Holy Lash from Lorac. And I'm going to concentrate most of the mascara on like these outer lashes just to give me a bit of a lift without using false lashes. Okay, so let me take this little hairband off and see what's happening underneath here. And I will be right back just to kind of show you more of the finished look. All right, so let me zoom you in a little bit. This is the finished look. So these are the eyes that my patients will be looking into today. Okay, so that is with the Midnight Sun palette from Pat McGrath. Let me know how often you use this palette if you have it. I feel like it's the palette that gets like the least amount of love, or like I don't understand why that one is like always on sale. I don't know if people don't like it as much, but I find quite a few people who do. So just let me know your thoughts on that. But if you are not feeling like paying that 120 something price tag, it is currently on sale for like $77. Not inexpensive, but it is a significant discount from the full price. Hopefully some of this was helpful. I'm also hoping that I actually told you something about myself. I prefer telling stories and like my shenanigans that I get into rather than like about me in particular, just because I mean, my profession is just so much about taking care of other people and like learning about other people. I'm not as comfortable telling y'all about me. That might be a surprise to some folks. Anyway, I think that's about it. I do hope that some of it was helpful. If you do have questions, feel free to ask. I will let you know if I don't feel comfortable answering something. But I'm usually pretty okay with answering stuff. Make sure you are continuing to take care of yourself. I hope most of us are enjoying the weather kind of starting to cool down. Like, it's nice to be in the 80s rather than in the hundreds. Let me know what's happening for you on your end. Let's all send out good vibes to one another. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.